And he's the one. He's the only. He is the, I can't see him yet, but I'm just going to guess, the bespectacled David W. Richard. Dave and Jason, hey, good morning.
W stands for win, Dave.
That's right, because that's all you
winners.
do. All you do is win, dude.
Café Tacuba, volve a comenzar.
Der Kommissar?
Der Kommissar. That's an
Well
excellent
done.
shout right there.
What were those first words?
Yeah, well, he doesn't know.
Of the song?
Yeah, whatever you just said.
Voulez-vous? Oh, what about Moonlight? Oh, no, because that's partially English.
No.
Yeah.
It's a Mexican rock band. That song is awesome.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Der Kommissar.
I did too.
You were talking about songs.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was thinking, well, is Der Kommissar? Wait, that has English in it, right? Did we just get fooled?
I don't know.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, that's a good shout, dude. Anyways, I'll expect the rest of your Mount Rushmore this summer. How are you, buddy?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing good. The odds after last night's Thursday night football game, in which the Patriots were victorious over the Jets, the odds makers now say that Drake May, who is like 14, is now the favorite to win the NFL MVP. Who is the fantasy football MVP going into Week 11, David?
Well, that's an interesting question because it's how do you define that? And I would ask Jason more than Dave because Dave wouldn't make any sense of this question. But to me, to be valuable in fantasy over the course of the year, it doesn't just mean that you're great at delivering fantasy points, but you are also like a good bargain on draft day. And so the first name that came to my mind was Javonte Williams with the Cowboys, although lately he's been a little more up and down. But for the most part, you were drafting him in round 9, round 10, and he's turned into a must-start player. You could also look at Jackson Smith and Jigba, who was drafted earlier, certainly much earlier, but not a first-round pick. He's been amazing. Jonathan Taylor might not have been a second-round pick in your league, and there's no question that he's a candidate to be MVP of the league if he keeps scoring 3 touchdowns a game. So those are some of the names that come to my mind as far as fantasy MVP. But I'll tell you, Drake May should be on that list too, because it's not like we were taking Drake May with one of our first 5 picks, and he's turned into a must-start, even though the last 3 games kind of hasn't delivered like he did before, let's call it week 7 and back to September.
Just a quick follow-up. Is Rico Dowdle on that list? And also, more importantly, more importantly, where is he in your list of favorites for your 2025 Alpha Awards?
Well, he wasn't on the ALF list. So he.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. He doesn't qualify. I'm stupid.
Right. But as far as as an MVP candidate, guys, if he finishes this year like he has been playing, then absolutely. Okay. Because that's somebody that you might have picked up off the waiver wire.
Yeah.
I think most people did.
Right.
Yeah.
Dave, also from last night, based on where he probably was drafted on hype and draft in the actual NFL draft, Travion Henderson was picked relatively early and I would say was disappointing. But now all of a sudden, the last couple weeks has been much better. 3 touchdowns last night. Where does he fall in the kind of must start going forward?
As long as Ramondre Stevenson is out, fantasy managers won't have any problem starting Travion Henderson. The problem is that Ramondre Stevenson could be back as soon as next week. And then it comes down to whether or not the Patriots coaching staff will make the switch from Henderson as the 1B running back to Henderson being at minimum the 1A, if not the runaway feature back for the New England Patriots. And listen, there's no question that his fantasy production has been great. But you'd like him to be a little bit more consistent running the football. There are just way too many plays over the last 2 weeks where he's not getting more than 3 yards. Sometimes he's hitting the backfield. They use him kind of funny. I think he's still struggling when he's running between the tackles, and that's just something that the Patriots ask of their running backs to do. It's something every team asks their running backs to do. They use him in the passing game. Aside from last night, I don't think they necessarily use him enough in the passing game, and maybe that changes when Ramondre comes back. Let's not call him a must start when Ramondre returns, but let's call him a good RB2 at minimum, with the potential for him to evolve into being a 70% of the snap guy, a 15-plus touch guy, and yes, maybe even getting some work at the goal line, although that's something that just seems best suited for Ramondre.
Marvin Harrison owners, myself included, are in a panic. appendicitis surgery. And they say the note on one of my sites is he may miss more than just a week. It's like, dude, I hope he misses more than a week. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But anything out there that pops up, at least for this week, that Harrison owners may be able to grab and get some value.
Well, Michael Wilson would be the primary receiver that I think will be the replacement. He had been playing alongside Harrison as the de facto number 2 wide receiver, not necessarily the number 2 target getter for the Cardinals, but I imagine he will see a step up in targets. And I need to spend more time researching him and Jacoby Brissett. Matchup against the 49ers isn't that bad. We know that the Niners pass rush just hasn't been the same really since week 2 when Nick Bosa left the field. I think that there's going to be some opportunities for Wilson and might end up being a decent number 3 wide receiver and somebody that you could stream this week. Could be in the neighborhood of 12 PPR points as a floor. That's never a bad thing. But I do think that you should expect some sort of downgrade from the Arizona offense. Marvin Harrison Jr. was responsible for about 20% of the catches, the yards, and 25% of the touchdowns that Jacoby Brissett had this year.
Dave, Brock Purdy's back. I don't know if he's, I'm sure there's other quarterbacks ranked higher on your list, but where does Brock Purdy fall in line on your QB rankings this week?
I have him 15th, Jason.
Okay.
I think he comes back, and I think he just goes back to being a solid, not necessarily spectacular fantasy QB. And Arizona's done a good job limiting quarterbacks in terms of fantasy production. Some of it is because teams are just able to run the ball so well against them, and they're beat up right now. So there's no question that I would expect a good game from Christian McCaffrey running the ball. Forget about him catching the ball. Everybody's starting him in fantasy, but just running the ball, he should have good efficiency this week against the Arizona Cardinals. And I think that means that Brock Purdy won't have to throw a ton. That's typically been the MO of the 49ers, although earlier this year it wasn't. He's okay. 20 fantasy points and a 6-point per passing touchdown. 6-point per passing touchdown league, excuse me. What is that? 250 yards and 2 touchdowns with no turnovers.
Okay. Couple of lightning rounds here from the audience. Full PPR, Diggs, Collins, or Chase Brown in my flex.
Well, Diggs already played, so.
That's great. See, you know what? I'm Ron Burgundying these questions, and you guys set me up. Thanks a lot. Okay, Collins or Chase Brown?
I would start Collins over Chase Brown, but I'll tell you this, and this is just a moment of honesty. You know that I like to be honest on your show. Mm-hmm. If I had to pick 2 of those 3 before last night, I would have said to sit Stephon Diggs.
Oh, that is very honest.
Okay. Diggs goes to show you that I liked Diggs this week. I just you're not going to blame me for liking Nico Collins more than Stephon Diggs, but I do think the matchup for Chase Brown, especially if there's no Samaje Perine playing for Cincinnati, I think that means a big workload for Chase Brown. And anytime you've got a running back that's in line for north of 15 touches, you basically start them blindly.
They're playing each other, so this is interesting. Mark Andrews or David Njoku, tight end PPR?
I like Andrews better than Njoku. I think he's got a better chance of scoring a touchdown and getting in the neighborhood of 6 targets. I think the Ravens need to do some things to make things a little bit easier for Lamar when he's throwing. And this is a matchup where they should be able to do that against Cleveland.
This is a kind of a similar question, but just one different player. Flex position, PPR, Njoku or Javonte Williams?
Javonte Williams, runaway answer, taking on the Raiders. Should be an inspired Cowboys team given the events of the last week. And also their defense should be a lot better.
Okay.
So Dallas might be thinking, okay, we've got a lot of reasons to play hard. And the results, if they win, could mean a playoff spot. Like, it's legitimately realistic now for Dallas.
Okay, and then now, same question, but I read the entire thing. David Njoku or Jamison Williams of Detroit?
Jamison Williams is the answer. There's just way more upside there. He's been interesting the last 2 weeks. Used a little bit more in the offense, used differently last week especially. I'm curious to see how the Lions operate this week. Tough matchup on the road against Philadelphia, though.
Let's see. We have some more here. Pick 2, Dave. McConkey, Derrick Henry, or Rashee Rice?
I'm going to sit Derrick Henry.
Oh, wow.
I know those 3 words in a row, sit Derrick Henry, almost never come out of my mouth.
Wow.
But in this situation, especially if it's PPR, I love Rashee Rice this week. Just a lot of the things that Denver, I think it will do defensively, plays into Rice seeing more target volume. As a result, Mahomes is pressured. He throws short to Rashee Rice. Mahomes has time to look downfield. Rice could be there. So to me, Rice is like a slam dunk must start expect big things from him. And McConkey's been a stud. Jacksonville's secondary isn't good. I would imagine that McConkey has a good game as well.
Okay, so then just on behalf of Derrick Henry folks out there, myself included, I'm raising my hand. This is one for me here because now you got me freaked out, but I think I know where you're going to go. I have 2 slots open. I have laugh if you must. I have Derrick Henry. I have Devin Singletary. I have Chuba Hubbard, and I have DeAndre Swift.
Okay, so Swift is the must.
Okay.
And Jason, should we freak him out or not?
Yeah, dude, please do.
Should I say Singletary over Derrick Henry?
No way.
Come on.
I don't believe that.
Okay. All right.
I will say those 3 words in a row again. In your situation, I cannot sit Derrick Henry.
Okay. In my
your
horrific situation, because Chuba Hubbard.
He's telling everybody to sit him, but you, Dave. Your situation, you have to play Derrick Henry.
All right.
Well, I don't think Henry's going to stink.
Right.
I just don't. I don't think he's going to be as good as Ladd McConkey and Rashee Rice.
Okay.
And I don't think he's going to be as good as Jalen Warren. I don't think he'll be as good as Javonte Williams. We've already talked about him.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if he'll be as good as Kamani Vidal.
Oh, wow.
How's that?
Golly.
That's okay, Dave. It's not like you took him early.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, I totally didn't have Kamani Vidal. By the way, half of the Vidal Sassoon empire. Did you know that?
No.
Okay.
That's why he has such great hair.
Yes.
He does.
How about obviously if you had Joe Burrow, you've held on. I hope you held on to him. He's going to be coming back. As soon as he comes back, does he go right into your lineup? How do you deal with Burrow?
Yeah, I think you have to, just given the fact that he plays in one of the most explosive offenses in the league, and he plays on a team that their defense is terrible, Jason. Like, they can't stop anybody. Watch, you're going to see the Steelers have a great game this week again, because everybody has a great game against the Bengals. So that means that every game, the defense lets the offense down. The offense has to go out there and score points on every single possession. That lends itself to great fantasy production from all the principals involved, including the quarterback. It's why Joe Flacco is a must-start fantasy quarterback for however long that Joe Burrow is out for. But when Joe Burrow comes back, yes, he should be on rosters. When the week started, he was available in about half of CBS Sports leagues. That number has dried up a little bit, but it would make sense for everybody to go double check their waiver wire just to see if Burrow's out there. Because if he's out there, you might as well pick him up and carry him for the fantasy playoff run. Because if Joe Burrow is himself, buddy, we're talking about 30 plus fantasy points per game, and that's amazing.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Here's another one: Jordan Love or Trevor Lawrence.
Oh my God. You know what? We're going to the waiver wire for this.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't want to start either one of these guys if I can. Brissett is a start ahead of them.
Whoa.
Marcus Mariota against the Dolphins in that secondary. He's a start ahead of them. Brock Purdy might be on your waiver wire. I would start him ahead of Jordan Love and Trevor Lawrence. I might even consider Jameis Winston and J.J. McCarthy ahead of Trevor Lawrence this week against the Chargers.
Wow.
The mighty have fallen.
Man, Dave's dropping
Were they ever
bombs.
mighty?
No.
I don't know. Feels like they were.
How the above average have fallen. Dave, you got
how the overrated have fallen.
where can people hear, listen, talk, and do all the things they want to do with you?
As is the case every Friday, I just finished up our second part of our Start Sit episode. We have a 2-part Start Sit episode on fantasy football today. It's the name of our podcast. Every single week, you can find it on YouTube, and it's available for your viewing pleasure whenever you want. You could be brushing your teeth tonight, and you could watch and get fantasy advice while you're brushing those cavities away. So go to youtube.com, search for fantasy football today, 3 words in a row, and subscribe to it, and then you'll be aware whenever we're streaming live. We answer questions live. That includes Sunday mornings when you're going to be waking up for that game in Madrid, and you're going to need to know who to start on players on the Dolphins and the Commanders. Hopefully not that many Commanders players. And we'll be there to answer your questions, even at 5:30 in the morning on Sunday.
Perfect. Look at that.
Committed.
Ready to
job.
go. Last thing for you, Dave, if you could choose a time zone to watch football, what's the best time zone? West, Central, Mountain? Well, nobody cares about Mountain. Or East?
First of all, that's not nice to say about the people.
I'm just saying, dude, it's such a stupid time zone. It's like, oh, everything's at 8 p.m., 7 Mountain. Like, come on. It's like one strip of America that we've got to acknowledge. Like, just go to move it one way or the other. That's all I'm saying.
And in some places they do.
Yeah,
they do. No, you're
Daylight
absolutely
savings
right.
is this weird thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever watched a football game in the Western time zone.
Oh,
And yet somehow I think that's what my answer would be.
so correct. Yeah, honestly, Dave, that's it. And the fact that you've never watched one in our time zone and can admit it. Yeah, 10 a.m. start, then 1 p.m. Then you get an hour for food break, and then you got Sunday night football, and you're in bed by around 9:30 at most.
That sounds amazing.
I mean, come on.
Well, and then even 6:30 this week, right? With the
yeah, that part does not sound like a dream.
It's Commanders and Dolphins. That's all right.
Yeah, unless you do a morning show and you're up all that time. Anyway. Yeah. All right, David, appreciate you. We will see you next week. Hey, do me a favor. Hey, have a wonderful weekend.
I was going to have a sucky weekend, but since you suggested that, I'm going to take your advice.
Thank you. Now he's going to have a good weekend.
Good luck in your leagues, boys.
Thank you, brother. Take care. That is Dave Richard of CBS Sports. Just dropping hammers.
Man.
Wow.
All these guys that were picked high are just like, sit them. Nope, not worth it.
Not that. Sit Derrick Henry. I mean,